Hello traders, good weekend. How are you today? Vladimir here, and this is the weekly forecast review for the first official week of trading after non-farm payrolls is over for 2017. So the traders slowly returned from the holidays, and we can feel that, we can see that during the last week moves. And the most interesting part is it's just the beginning. So let's go over the trades and see what we can trade. Let's start with the major euro dollar, which is certainly having a great opportunity for us. And as I said on my annual forecast, which I hope you already get a chance to see, we can already had a bottom, and on the same, this could already be a bottom, which will turn to be a false break. Or on the same time, we can go and further continue to below 1 before we turn around for massive buys. Now on the weekly, we do have a bullish divergence here, so it could easily start the move up. On a daily chart, we got this beautiful false break completed. So what we do need here, to make it very simple, is to get above the last high. Not that easy, isn't it? So in that case, what we can say, there is a good chance we are now creating some kind of a range. If we drop further to the 4-hour chart, you can see we got false breaks on the bottom, so it could be a big range. And on the same time, we got here false breaks on the bottom, right, which happened right on this place, and we got one here. So we can say this is what we basically deal with. Small range which got a new top on that place, and it could go and still play in that very place. Make long story short, as if it is a range and the bottom holds and we don't get a close on the weekly chart below, we can try buys, right? How do we try buys here? We basically need to get 2 waves down, and then we will want to go and to try the break of the trend line. This is our first opportunity. The second one is according to the same daily chart I have been talking before. For that, it's pretty far, but we will need to get above this high, retrace down, and then be dealing with the buys. So that's in case we are looking for buys, and this bottom does hold on the daily and weekly chart. That's what should provide us the opportunity to buy the bottoms based on the 4-hour chart. 2 waves down, no break, and we can buy. If we go lower and we continue to go further, we would be looking to deal with that around the parity, maybe even slightly lower. But the lower we go, the stronger the buy would be. Now, the latest report from the non-farm payrolls shows us what? That the job market is still stable on the US, and basically the dollar is strong accordingly as well. The numbers are not too good, and generally talking, the dollar is too strong versus the majors, which will lead for correction. The biggest question, are we ready for this correction? And for that, we will probably get the answer later this month. So that's about the euro dollar and the 2 possibilities we have. Pound dollar, same story. Take a look. We got monthly chart here, double cycle, finished with divergence, finishing. Weekly triple cycle, and daily double cycle, all ending on the same place. We are in a very good place looking for buys, and however, we did not get even one false break yet, which means we can still get it a bit lower, and that's doable. But as long as we do respect bottoms, I would, because we have divergence everywhere, I would be dealing only with possible longs. And the way to do that is to find false breaks like we had on the 4-hour chart right here, okay? And to get this kind of conditions, get 2 waves corrections, only if we get 2 waves corrections, then buy the breakouts. That's the only thing we can go and do. And if it breaks below the last bottom and continues further, let it go. Do not try to make some hero calls and try to catch the move, because later or sooner it will bottom and make the false break, and we better be there on the long side when it happens. That's of course only my point of view, but when we deal with against divergences, we better play safe. That's with the pound dollar. Now the cross in between, the euro pound, you know my view, I said it not once on the annual forecast also. I believe we are going for a move down. The only thing here that we got we got kind of a special cycle down move here with divergence, which means we can get this before we are breaking lower. Doesn't matter how we turn it around, I still prefer only for sells, and there are 2 ways the sells could happen. Now we did have a correction on these 2 waves and these 2 waves, and a small move these 2 ways as well. So we might be looking already for sells, and that could happen on 2 ways. 1, the conservative one, the break of the trend line. 2 is on the 1-hour chart, look for this false break to happen, which is does right now currently, right? And then we will want to get it going below the last low to gain the momentum, retracing into waves, which should be broken after that, and then we can go for sells. If the rally continues, we are going for a second bigger leg of correction, this one, and then we go to here, or the 100 duplication, maybe even all the way to 161.8. The higher we go, the stronger the sell would be right after that. Keep an eye on this pair, really interesting one. Now I want to talk about one more very interesting pound pair. That's pound versus the Canadian. Double cycle is over, and there was a false break as well, which provides us some very nice opportunity. We did not have any convergences yet on that chart, but we already have a great opportunity on the 4-hour chart, on a daily chart, basically. So after the false break did complete, we are getting a correction. This correction could be a triple cycle correction, if we take a look on that. Oh, what did I do? Let's do the lines again. 1, 2, and now we are on 3. Okay, very interesting for sure. And that also takes us to the journey of the 161.8 expansion. Once we reach this area, we can start to look for the buy opportunities. So once we do complete here some movement, we are going to look for that to happen. And all that is relevant as long as this bottom holds. Because if this bottom will not hold, we can expect it to go further lower for new lows. So we play that safe. How do we play that safe? We let the 4-hour chart complete itself, create a divergence we want to see, and then with the breakouts we will be looking to buy. Expecting what? Expecting one more wave to go to the upside. And that should provide us some really good risk reward. But as I said, if we do continue further lower, we let it go, as we never want to force things to happen, right? And if it does go lower, we'll let it go until probably somewhere like late of February, maybe the beginning of March, because then with the Brexit officially to start moving further in the negotiations, that could be the period of the pounds. So keep that in eye. It could be a great opportunity. It's not there yet, but we definitely want to watch that for a trade. Pound Aussie, same story. Double wave, divergence, false break completed here. Looking great for our chart. We got a cycle to the, even daily, doesn't matter. We got this cycle to the upside. Now we are in correction. Correction could lead us in the range. We are currently in the range, as you can see, right? And we can continue to play here, or get us 2 waves down correction to this place somewhere before we are buying. If we are already in a buy zone, we will want to get it above the last highs. Let us this kind of movement, correction into breakout, and we will be looking for buys here again to the last stops. And if it does get the second leg down, we would be looking for buys right from there when we will complete the correction and divergence. We will be waiting and measuring the corrective cycle, of course, and it could happen anywhere on to here, to here, to here. All these levels are valid. We will need divergences there, of course, to start looking for buys. Now let's go to the other majors. Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar. Let's start with the Aussie dollar, and you know my bullish view. I said it not once. As long as this bottom holds, for me it's only buys. Dropping down to daily chart, we got 2 waves down cycle, right? And if we take a look on the 4-hour chart, we did have this false break happen on this place, right? And then that's the convergence idea that is happening right now. So what we want to get is 2-wave correction and try to buy. Basically, 1, 2, correction. And from this place, we would be looking for false breaks, higher highs, correction, and buys. As long as the bottom holds. We could get here a bullish hidden divergence as well, which should be very helpful for us to look for this buy scenario. And that could happen anywhere in between 0.7260 down to 0.72. This should be a very nice buy opportunity. As I said, as long as the last bottom holds, because if it's broken, there is a good chance we will get the correction a bit further, maybe even triple cycle or something like that, down to 0.70. That's also a possibility to keep an eye on and keep a possibility. New Zealandian dollar. Theoretically, according to the weekly and monthly cycle, still should and could continue further down. There was this divergence providing us the previous rally, but as we can see, the rally currently kind of blocked by this trend line. Okay, so for this pair, for example, I myself would prefer the correction to be a bit deeper. By ideal, it could get us down to here. That's 0.67 approximately, and that could be the double cycle and here again. Okay, the idea of these cycles as well, we can get some great magnet area here. That's 0.678, and here the 0.67, 0.68, 0.67. We should get divergences there completed. If we can get these levels, we would be looking definitely for possible buys, because it would be the triple cycle from the weekly ending on the 50% correction. As you can see, that's right here. Okay, this is the zone, and maybe even a bit further where from we're very likely to deal with buys again. Next one on the list is dollar yen, which still has nothing clear for us. I still think we can, and we might expect it to get us towards 120 or higher to complete this kind of movement before we drop lower. So for me, it is yet buy dips, and that could be versus this bottom if we get a correction, or if we get second leg down, we're going to look for buys right after that. And that's all. Euro yen, same story. The higher we go, the better the sell. I still want to get one more push further, ideally towards 125, 127 zone. Should be a really nice opportunity. Currently still in this range. Break above should lead for the rally. And as long as it does hold, there could be a chance that this situation here would make make this stop and start the correction further. But as I said, I wanted to get it higher, and currently this is what I expect to happen. This special cycle to complete with one more high, which after we can go and deal with sells with this divergence to develop. And that's everywhere on all the yen pairs. Pound yen, same story. I expect one more push. CAD yen here, I expect to complete this cycle as well, and I do believe we are going further, especially if we take a look on this annual cycle of from the weekly time frame. We are going to the 50. That's around 90.91. That's where I would expect it to make a top. And that's where I would be looking to trade it from. Until then, still buys are more potential. Dollar CAD, you know, my bearish view here, friends, nothing is really new, but because we did have false break, we might get that at false break as well. That could be a range, and that's very, very, very possible scenario, which means that could be short-term bottom for the pair. And if we drop to 4-hour chart, take a look, where do we have our movement? It was a range, right? The 161.8 is right there. So if we can get this one more push lower to this area with a divergence, we would be looking for buys, which could provide great risk reward by the middle of the range, maybe even higher again. Definitely keep an eye on this pair. Looks good. CAD franc, my view was and remain only buys. We got a beautiful drop here and correction. Every correction in 2 waves is buy. I'm not going to repeat that. That was suggested many times from the last period. Let's see what else. Okay, Aussie Kiwi also. I keep my bullish view. Now we want to get this false break completing and the break above this high. If we get it, correction, and we can go deep into buys here. That's my view, confirmed by this break, of course. First of all, gold and silver, they look like a potential start, and yet I want to see higher highs first. We did not have it, so do not rush to push the buy button just yet. Okay, we can still get it lower, and be careful there, very important. All right, some crosses like the euro Kiwi, not really clear to me. I still believe every drop down is a buy, so I am in bullish mode. Not quite sure how exactly. I would do say this is a range, and as long as it holds, every drop closer, we try the buys for second push up towards last highs around 155 at least. After that, if the bulls are here, we can continue much further. And it all starts, by the way, from the weekly chart, because the weekly chart, what do we have? We have this triple cycle with the divergence, right? And we get this false break here. So it looks good, and the daily cycle also created 61.8 with a false break by themselves and a convergence idea. Now we are in a range, dancing here. So that's why I say every small drop should be a buy opportunity for second leg up. Not a classical one, but definitely correct one. By the way, if we take a look on the statistical part, that was the euro Kiwi, right? And we are looking for the bottoms. Take a look at the beginning of the month, 3rd to 6th, right? The entire week here is great for the bottom. So this correction could be perfect to hold it as a bottom. That's for the euro Kiwi. And by the way, this week I don't pay too much attention for the statistical, as the market was on holidays mode. So we need to let it kind of refresh itself and gain some momentum, so we can rely on that. Indices, still nothing too special. The only thing here to pay attention to is that we got a new high, which could turn to be the false break we wanted to see. And if it does, right, we need to get a close here. We got the close from this top, right? For that we will need to go below this low, right? On the small view here, we can get opportunity. This was the last move, right? That could be our false break. And for that, we can try more aggressive if we break below this bottom, right? This is the last bottom here. We can go to here, 2 waves, and with the breakout, try the sells. Definitely scenario to keep an eye on, all right? So keep that in mind. That's S&P, but that's basically the same idea for them all, while the Dow Jones already had a false break before here. So we are now be looking for this false break, then this momentum will change to here, down, correction, and crush. Oil dancing still in kind of a range. I still prefer to get it correcting, and as my view, we are only after buy dips. So I want to get dip first to look for further buy. Currently we don't have setup, so I'm not going to waste the time on this one. With further explanation, we will have it during the daily forecast updates once we have that relevant. So that's basically all, guys. That's the main important opportunities. The year just starts, so patience is very required. We need to get the good setups. We need to wait sometimes for the setups to happen clearly. Okay, we have few pairs on the list for the weekly, and we will update them further on a daily forecasts as things happen. That's all for now. Thanks for your time for watching, and I'll see you with the daily forecasts from Tuesday. Thanks for your time. Yours, Vladimir.